Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of the Donkey Kong 94 playthrough, where this time around it's time to meet back up with the big bad DK gorilla himself. And once again he's throwing springs, and believe it or not, I consider this to be a pretty difficult level. As there are a lot of very difficult levels in this game, I don't really consider DK94 to be easy on any metric. But anyways, the gorilla runs off with the princess once again, and it looks like there's another cutscene going on here. Now he ran himself into a wall because he thought he was gonna run into the Mario, but it doesn't look like that's what's gonna happen at all. And it looks like you get a couple extra lives out of it once again, which is always a good thing. And I want to point out that this game has a much necessary save option. As if you didn't already notice in part 1, there's a 3 save file option in this game. You gotta look out for those birds there because they will crap eggs at you. And they will be pretty much like a projectile weapon, so you gotta look out for those bird eggs. But yeah, you wouldn't think, I've never seen a bird in real life use eggs as a weapon. Could you imagine if birds just came at you and they were like all pissed off and they were crapping eggs? I'd be scared. I'd be really scared. And I'm not sure what these things are supposed to be, but they kind of look like elephants. They kind of remind me of peanut for some reason, like food, like peanuts. I don't know why. They don't really look like a peanut. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and deal with that and grab the key and get out of this place. I will admit the music here slaps though. It's got a pretty good vibe going. I wonder if the violent wind in the background is picking up on this recording. Because as I'm recording this right now, there is a bit of a blizzard type situation going on in my area. But I'm not really concerned about that right now, and even if the power goes off, everything is currently on battery life, so all will not be for nothing. Get your money for nothing and your chicks for free. But yeah, let's see here. Definitely want to get that extra life, even though I don't really need it. I think there is a point in this game where I do max it out. If not, I'm sure it gets pretty close. And it looks like this will be the last time I gotta deal with the forest stage. But not the last time I gotta deal with Donkey Kong, folks. So, just gotta wait for him to throw barrels once again, and the goal once again is just to hit him 3 times. And you get all these springs this time around that you gotta use to get a better jump on him. But no worries with any of this, because I have plenty of practice, at least I feel like I do. I couldn't tell you how much time I invested into this game before I decided I was ready to record it, and I didn't even feel like I was ready to record it when I did. I felt like I just kind of winged it, from the little bit that I do remember. But anyways, 500 points even, so it looks like I'll get 5 lives out of this, and I've chased DK onto the ship, which will be the 3rd stage, right after this little cutscene here. Of course, it's kind of hard for me to think of the word cutscene without thinking of Hotel Mario, because that was like the first time I had heard that word was in the YouTube poops of the Hotel Mario cutscenes. If I could ever figure out how to get a CDI emulator running and record it, maybe I could record a Let's Play of Hotel Mario. Here's the problem. But anyways, the problem here is that we still gotta deal with Donkey Kong. I'm not really sure what those things are supposed to be there, but you can use them as platforms. They look like they have beaks and they kind of waddle around and look like maybe they're supposed to be birds of some sort, but they don't got any wings. Of course, I also used to think maybe they were like some kind of thwomp enemy, but they don't like slam down on you. So I'll just climb down the ladder, of course. Yeah, I'm not gonna take any chances, just wait for him to come back around. And there's the key. And so I will take this key and I will go over here to the left where the doorway is. Oh hey, a 1-up that I decided was kind of out of the way. And keep things moving along. The ship is actually a fairly short stage to get through with only 8 levels. And then you gotta look out for those enemies. Sometimes they can squish you too, because I'm not exactly sure what they are, but they can push you, and if there's not enough space, you can't really avoid them. But I'll grab this key. Once again, as per usual, the key is the key to getting out of each and every level. And so I will take this key and I will go into this door. And that will do it for 3-2. Now, one thing I do remember about some of my playthroughs through this when I was a kid. Now, like I said, I never beat the game back then. I think I only ever made it as far as stage 6 at that point in my life, but I do remember that a lot of my playthroughs back then ended in the ship area. But yeah, I feel like most of my playthroughs ended in the ship and the airplane, which the airplane is one I haven't gotten to yet, so stay tuned, folks. A little bit of incentive to stay tuned. You get to see the airplane levels of the game. Get out of 3-3 and meet back up with Donkey Kong. Da-da. This one really isn't too much of a worry of maneuvering through. I mean, sure, there's a couple of squishy platforms. Nothing to really worry too much about, and that's all you really gotta do is just flip the switch over here. And then, of course, Donkey Kong's got a switch that he's flipping there, and there's just a lot of time. This game has a lot of puzzle elements. It's kind of one of the selling points of it. It's kind of like a puzzle platform. As you notice, there are a lot of unique kind of things you gotta do, and a lot of things you have to time at precise moments, and the difficulty curve, and I don't know. Now that I'm commentating over it rather than playing it, I can see that this game's really not all that bad. I mean, whenever I was playing through it, I definitely didn't have much fun. I'll just say that right now, folks. There were a lot of times where I wasn't sure if this was going to be the next game I recorded, or if this was just going to be the end of the Fromark channel. So this one was a bit of a turning point for me, because this was I kind of bumped into the microphone there. Hopefully that didn't screw anything up. But anyways, that's going to take us to the halfway point, and take us to the halfway point on the lives. And I lost my train of thought, which definitely happens from time to time, folks. But keeping things going here with the 8-5. But yeah, I should point that out. That's probably one of my weak points as a commentator. Tater. Potater. Tater salad. The word commentator just gives me a chance to say tater. It's commentary on a potato. Anyways, I'm just gonna grab the damn key over here. Keep things going. There's an elevator I need to ride. And I will keep things going. It looks like I've got over 338 or 380 something thousand points now. Although the points don't really matter. I don't think you get any extra lives for those points. See, the points that give you extra lives at the end of each section, each Donkey Kong thing, usually that's based off of what time you finish each level at. If you didn't already know that. I didn't mention it yet at this point, so I felt like I should have mentioned that a little bit earlier. And I'm kind of mixed on the soundtrack for this game. Like, I think some of it's pretty good. I think there's some bops here and there, but I think it's got some duds too. And there's some literal audio turds. But not every video game has a great soundtrack. I mean, some just... But then again, music is subjective. Once again, I need to make sure I don't get pushed into oblivion there. Like I said, it's really easy to get smushed by these dudes if you're not careful. Like, if I were to not duck right there, I would have been a pancake. Now that I have that switch activated, I can climb back up here, grab the key. Now, of course, there is a timer, and it's an audio timer. I don't know how many seconds you would need to... I don't know how many seconds it is that each item block that you activate, like, that stays active. Like I said, I feel like I should know more about this game. But anyways, we're gonna keep things moving along here. Looks like I'm at the tail end of the ship. And the goal here is to just, once again hit DK 3 times, and I gotta gradually jump my way up to him. And there he is. See what I can do here. Of course, I already got him once. Yeah, just once again want to go up here and go ahead and do that. Sorry, this might not be the most exciting thing, but I mean, it sure was when I was playing this because the pressure was high the whole time. Because I was definitely trying to see how far I could get through the game without dying, and eventually I just said screw it when I realized it wasn't going to be the entirety of the game. But that's going to do it for Donkey Kong on this ship. And this ship will sail on into the next stage. Whatever that may be. Ooh. I'm saying ooh like I know, but I really don't know, folks. I don't know what's next. I don't remember what's next. Is it the jungle? I feel like that might be a little bit later on. But I could be wrong. Guess we'll find out together, folks. Survey says it is the jungle. Okay, this is stage 4, folks. Jungle. This is where things really start to get difficult, in my personal opinion. But I guess difficulty is also subjective, just like music is. You gotta look out for them birds crapping them eggs again. Definitely don't want to get hit with an egg, it'll kill you. Must be some pretty deadly eggs them boys be crapping eggs. And they be crapping eggs that I really don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway. Need to just activate that spring. I still haven't found out what those items are supposed to be, and I said in part 2 I would look it up, and that was one thing I've been trying to do whilst commentating, and that's been something I've been trying to do in the, whilst commentating, but it's not loading because my phone is slow garbage and AT&T is slow garbage where I live. Anything else I've had's not really been much better, but maybe it's just because I'm a tightwad and I don't spend the big dollars on big data and big phone plans. So I don't always have information readily available at my fingertips like most people do these days. But it's okay because it gives me a little bit of an ancient touch, I guess. Whatever that means. Anyway, let's see, we got 4-3 here. I don't know, I guess what that meant was I always kind of considered myself to be a bit of an old soul. I don't know, I've always felt like I'm not always, like, completely up to date with things that are going on around me, and I always think a lot of stuff's better, like older music, older TV shows, old movies. I feel like everything's already been done to death at this point, and it's just hard to find the good in a lot of stuff these days. But that's neither here nor there, because this is the end of part 2 of Donkey Kong 94, folks, and I will see you in part 3. Anyways, thanks you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in.